Hello, everyone. Thank you, Rick on the Mountain, for that awesome outro. Even if it was mistimed, we are all human, we are all fallible. And I'm sitting back, I'm nice and relaxed. I've got my robe on. Don't worry, there's a t shirt on underneath because it's a Monday evening here in Australia town where I live. I can't remember if I said that my name is Olazor, but that is my name. So welcome. And I can see Burn Kellia Hellia. I love that name. It only took me watching Rick's stream for about 2 hours to realize that was your name. That's awesome. Um, we're going to go have a look on the Mav test server at what the process is like regarding land claims and stuff. So you'll notice that the icon, I'll just make this full screen ahead. Here we go, full screen ahead. The item where your cards normally are just listed as items. So I don't know, it's probably cut off on my stream, and yes, it is. In the bottom right hand corner, there is test mode on overlaid, which I'm conveniently overlaying with my overlay. So you go to the items, and then if I go to other, there's all the stuff. But you can see on this test server, I have 100 land plots, I have a land region, and a land tract. So if I click on land up here, we are transformed to a beautiful, stunning, amazing map that I have just zoomed in on as much as I possibly can. And the way in which this works is land is bestowed in order of these regions. So there is, I believe, 150 regions. Yes, there is. And as people claim their land, the land is given to the territories of Praetoria based on these numbers that you can't see. They just look like white dots on the screen. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way through to 150 down here. And you've got the pristine northwest up here, the broken lands here, the land of prosperity. Then we've got these central firelands. Then there's the wild northeast, the great lowlands, and the shimmering coasts as the final collection of regions. So in real Splinterlands, I've got just a single tract and a whole bunch of loose plots. Some people in my guild are planning on claiming land in this particular region around here, so between 26 and 27. And I'm not too sure when or where I want to claim mine, but I don't know. I wouldn't mind something close to my guild, so either somewhere around region. I was going to say Legion, 63, or maybe 30 or 62. Looks like a fairly nice place. Pretty central. I do like that there's just a massive volcano in the center, so no one can actually have the center of the Splinterlands. I do like also how these Praetorian lands have the potential to split away. But anyway, what you do if you do have land, you can see on the right hand side, it's in very small text and cut off by my overlay and somewhat. But deed locations, it explains the naming scheme. So you've got Praetoria, then ABC, which is the region code, or territory code rather. Then you've got the different IDs of the land. And we've got this little readout to the right that basically says next available region is Jadestone 06. So that would be where the land would be bestowed if someone was to claim a region now, or next available track would be Veritas 001, so that region, but it will be the 9th tract in that area. The next available plot would be tract 01, plot 075. So as people have claimed on this test server, we can see how that distribution of locations has played out. So it's my understanding that's going to be sequential in the game on the real server. So it'll be the people who claim their land the last will find themselves over here. Everybody else is going to slowly be exploring this side of the continent like a cartographer. Although I don't know anything about cartography at all. I suspect that you'd follow the coastline until you exhausted everything rather than going and making your way back and forth from one coastline to the next instead of just following the coastline. It starts off that way, but by the same token, they've got to do some pretty fancy coding and maths, I would imagine, to get this to all work, with people doing claims potentially simultaneously or in the same block. So it'll be interesting to see who gets what and where they want to go and how cards are going to influence things. But enough of me talking. Let's go claim a deed and see what happens. So we're going to go claim one plot on the test server here. We'll hit redeem and we will confirm the keychain transaction and we will indeed see what's going to happen. So claim successful. Welcome to Praetoria. Deeds registered 1. So I now go over to this land tab. I think there's still some work that can probably be done in terms of the UI here, because if I jump across to this other tab, it's like all different and stuff, but viewing the actual claimed land, you've got to swap over here. So let's see if this will go bigger. Yes, it will. So we can see that this piece of land is unsurveyed. So it is a mystery currently, as depicted by this artwork. It is in the Veritas area in the pristine northwest. So you've got the Praetoria, pristine northwest, region 1, tract 1, plot number 75. So that's how the land is like. Now we won't actually be able to survey these yet because there's clearly no survey button. You could send it to someone. I imagine that's what that button does. But it's much the same process if someone were to claim a tract, which we will do now. And this should claim it as the 100 deeds. So here we go. We now have 101 results in here. We can see that the tract is a part of tract 01, 09. I click on the individual ones, it goes to its individual page. We can multi-select land, I imagine. Yes, we can. And building options coming soon. Don't know when, but I imagine the next step of land will be to go into these plots, survey the plots, which will be the real event to sort of go, okay, what is this land capable of doing? So that's pretty much what it looks like, and the experience is probably going to be exactly the same for a region, which we'll now do. It should have us with 1,101 plots. There we go. Deeds registered 1,000, 1,101 plots, which is exactly the same process. We've got a list view. We can see that the region changed from Veritas. Clicking on it brought it out of that page to the Jadestone region. And all of these unsurveyed. This surveying process, when it comes about, better be amazing. Like, I know the team's done really awesome animations and things for various stuff, but I am so keen to see what epicness there will be when you survey plots and stuff in the game. It's been such a long time. It's like the anticipation is been really quite immense. So I imagine the next step will be clicking on individual regions in here, within which you'll be able to then see the tracks, within which you'll be able to see the individual plots on the map itself. But that is basically the land functionality as it stands on the test server right now. So it's nothing amazing or outrageously incredible, but it's going to be very interesting to see how quickly all those land plots are claimed before they are surveyed at a later date when that functionality comes into the game. And then after that, I imagine it'll be, guess what? You guys can start building, start harvesting resources, and then after that, those resources will be able to be used to create items, spells, whatever, which, interestingly enough, will probably be the next major addition of the game, because that's going to add a whole bunch of content alongside the next main set, the next mini expansion, and all the other bits and pieces. It's really nice to see this all come together. My only wish is that the surveying of the land didn't happen in this sort of zigzaggy pattern, but instead wrapped around the coast. So we discover the coastline first, and then once all the coastlines are claimed, we move inwards to the center of the continent, because that would mimic traditional exploration, I would think. You know, it's like, oh hey, look, we see land that we have found on our sailing boats and stuff. You would typically follow the coastline or find a river or whatever and then follow that. So it's going to be interesting to see this other area of the map be slower to be revealed, because I don't imagine we'll see it all be revealed all at once. And the broken lands, I think, are going to be, because these are all sort of linked to a particular splinter as well. So the land of prosperity, I think, would probably be Life Splinter, or it could even be the pristine Northwest. We don't know. The wild Northeast could also be that area, but Central Fire is pretty obviously fire. Hey Damien, welcome. Thank you for the raid, and welcome any new viewers who have come along there. We're just checking out the map of land, and this is on the Maverick QA/test server, so this isn't live in the game at all, but we are doing rampant and wild speculation to try and guess what's going to come. So in the center, there's probably going to be the land for Fire Splinter. Purple I'm going to associate with death. The wild Northeast, maybe that's our our blue sector. I'm going off by the stuff here, but then we've got Land of Prosperity, which sort of looks neutral colored. So does Pristine Northwest. The Great Lowlands could be dragonish, but there's all these geographical sort of elements throughout where there's lots of craters over here. Is that the site where dragons go? I would expect dragons to be, you know, hanging out in the mountains, but there's mountains over here as well and there. So it's going to be interesting to see what other elements are revealed to us. The other thing that I have noticed on the test server is a couple of things. If we swap on over to all cards, we go to promo cards, which you can see I own none of. It looks like the Rooney is here on the test server as well. So it exists with its test work, its placeholder artwork. So for those of you who've got a Rooney, it's being worked on. I've got my Rooney. It's not very special, but it's a Rooney. And I'm keen to see what that goes. I don't believe we can at this stage. They've probably got to do the Ethereum smart contract and all that sort of thing. So yeah, I don't have any of the promo cards on. I don't have any cards on this server. So on this particular server, it won't work that well. But there is a whole bunch of DC and whatnot and packs and etc. On the account, so I can go open the packs to get the cards. But by extension, I can't do any battling over here either. But the other thing I just wanted to see in terms of cards is if the promo card for the December sale is here, but it is not. For that, we may have to grab the image from the Splinterlands eye candy channel, which is what I'm in the process of doing right now. Where is it? Where is this bear? I'm looking at my other monitor, so apologies for not reading the chat right this second. We've got the wallpaper for it. I thought I saw something in one of the other channels, but I seem to not be able to find it right this instant. But yes, the bear promo card. It leaves me at a bit of an impasse there because my wife loves bears. And I don't have Rooney 985 anymore, or 984, or whatever it was. I received an offer I could not refuse on it. But we'll go in and jump in. I think it was 984 that I had. Let's see, was it 984? No, I don't even remember what the Rooney number was. Yeah, 986. 986 was actually my Rooney, Rick. This was my Rooney that I sold yesterday. But I still have one Rooney left. So this one was mine. White Bears made an offer that I couldn't refuse on it. So they ended up getting that Rooney, and this is now my super colorful Rooney that I have, which is number 1415. So if I grab your link again over here, Rick, and we go 1415. That doesn't look too bad inside of a card frame. I think that's all right. I like the pink. It's gonna stand out in battle. At least I think it's gonna stand out. Check out 2519. Yeah, that guy looks seriously angry. I wish the power core was behind the legendary sign. I wish it was covered, but yeah. Is that a common theme? I'm just going to put in 1337. We'll look at the elite Rooney. Yeah, it seems to be the common common thing. Let's see who got the devil's number Rooney 666. Man, that's such a disappointment for 666, don't you think? I'd expect that to be a lot more intense. Let's put a number in the chat, and we're just gonna randomly look at Rooney's now. Why did we start this? But I am interested in the number. Let's look at repeating patterns of numbers. So 111. That's not bad. I like the thing. 404. Rooney not found. We found it though. 127. Let's see what 123 is. 123. I like the stars as the crown. Little concussion stars. That's surely not something that's common. What about if we need to call the cops? 911. Although you don't call the cops using 911 here in Australia. It's 000 here in Australia. Or an ambulance or fire or other emergency services. But would you call the cops if this guy rocked up at your house? I don't know. I wouldn't. That weapon doesn't look very intimidating. We've already looked at 1337. We'll look at it again. It's not bad. It's got that Athenian gold helmet. It's got that halberd. It's got a nice background color. But yeah, again, those power cores being concealed behind the legendary card frame is a little bit of a missed opportunity. What's another number that we can look up? I'm just looking around at my desk and various things. I've got batteries here that are 240-50 milliamp hours. So there's a battery Rooney, and it clearly looks like a battery. How much did this parking cost me when I went somewhere the other day? 506. Let's look at Rooney 506, because it was $5.06 to park my car the other night. That's not great. That Rooney. What about the time I exited the car park? Let's see. 23:14. Now we're just looking at random Roonies. We want to look at non-random Roonies, like my Rooney. That's this one. 14:15. Which is not bad, but it's not nearly as good as the one that I sold. The one that I sold was this one. This guy just looked really incredibly, at first I thought, this guy looks not that great. But then he sort of grew on me, and he clearly grew on someone else, because they gave me an offer that I couldn't refuse. And as a result, I got a whole bunch more SPS added to my SPS pile, which is good, because I'm debating whether or not to go grab some more packs so I can get this bear promo card, or whether I just want to hold on to the proceeds and just buy the bear promo card outright. And I think that's probably what I'm going to end up doing, is just go buy the bear promo card off the market when people inevitably try to sell theirs. I got 1.26 ETH for it, so I got pretty amazingly lucky for that, considering it was the Rooney that I minted originally for 0.19 ETH. So I was very, very happy with that. Even after like the fees of taking that ETH, unwrapping it, converting it to SPS, then bringing it into the chain natively, it was still worth it. Added about 40k to my SPS stack. That's 40,000 SPS, not 40k real world money. So that's good. That increased my SPS from, I think it was 560 at the time to around 600, which is really nice. And you know, we've got another couple of years left of SPS being dropped through battle rewards, guild rewards, quests, tournaments. I'm trying to think of all the sources of SPS, validator rewards. It's going to be a very interesting next couple of years with all the SPS that's due to come along and tickle our bones. Now, the other thing that I wanted to look at was Possibilis. So I did my button clicking and got my 9 Possibilis from my packs purchased. I can speak English from my packs purchased. And I won't lie, I haven't actually played Possibilis in battle yet. I've had very, very busy times at work, so I've had Archmage playing my account for me, because I don't expect to become any less busy in the coming next couple of weeks, which is sad, but I've heard that Deep Lurker is a force to be reckoned with Possibilis the Wise, and I can certainly see why. Trample on any creature with opportunity is going to be so amazing. It's just a shame that trample doesn't work on creatures that sneak, because if you sneaked and killed people from the back of the lines to the front of the lines, that would be awesome. The other thing I wanted to check out quickly was the new tower defense diary, which I think is the same one as last week from memory, although that artwork, no, it's the same one as last week, so there hasn't been another tower defense update since I last looked. But yeah, I am getting keen for all of these improvements, and I believe I was a little bit overzealous when it came to collecting some cards for my land, because I find myself now with an incredible number of a particular type of card, because I could not exercise any self-control when I discovered that I had DEC and that I should probably spend some DEC. So I did spend some DEC. I think I did some of that spending of DEC live on stream. Even so, if I go to my neutral collection, we see, you know, normal 2 BCX, 2 BCX, yeah, normal 3, 2 BCX. Oh, look, a max level Cyclops, an Enchanted Pixie, a Hydra, sure, okay, normal, 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 yep, normal, 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 Elven Defender, normal. There's a max Horny Toad sitting in there. There's a Mantoid sitting there. I've got 2 max Parasitic Growths. Suppose that's pretty okay and normal. Goblin Chariot, one of them maxed. It's pretty normal. Couple of excess cards here. Few Gelatinous Cubes. Handful of Sandworms. Battering Ram. Couple of Grenadiers. A whole bunch of Gargoyle Lions. It's probably about just shy of 10 of them max there. But then where I went completely off the rails was a little snaky dude, which I'm going to go bigger even again here. And I'm going to have to scroll past all these monsters once more. Just builds the suspense, right? And so we can look at the absurd BCX that I've gone and obtained for Uraeus. So I have 4734 BCX of Uraeus across 121 cards, which is, I believe, 102 max level Uraeus cards. So they're currently on the rental market. But when it comes to land and I need stuff to work on my plots, I've got 117 plots. I don't have 117 summoners, but opening some packs will probably fix that. Delegate year one. I think they're all probably rented out. Let's go have a look. I think it's a pretty in-demand card. Hang on a sec. Let's make this smaller again so I've got all my menus available to me. Card name, URA. URA. For rent, yes. Delegated, and no. They are all rented out. That's crazy. And I've sort of put a self-controlled stop on buying any more of them. But now I've got to go look at the market and see if they're cheaper than what I got mine for or more expensive. It looks like whoever was selling the straight out max level ones must have sold all of theirs, because there was a guy that was selling a whole bunch. I've just gone to the last page of the listings instead of clicking through. Doesn't look like you can pick up a max level one in one click unless you're willing to go a little bit above market there. But if we do a bulk buy, yeah, I've got most of mine for around $5. So that was not too bad. I saw them under $5 and I'm like, max level Uraeus less than $5 feels like it was destined to be. But there are a few cards that I'm going to look to offload. So if I look at cards that are locked currently, go back to this bulk listing. There's a whole bunch of cards that I'm in the process of unlocking that I am considering offloading in order to grab some different cards in their wake. So you can see there's a whole bunch of stuff that I'm unlocking here. One of them is the Spirit Hoarder. Another notable thing, if I just go to legendary cards, is probably going to be Lyra the Dark. Probably going to offload that as a single BCX. Ditto, Jotun, and the Llama that are single BCX cards as well, because I feel like I can grab a whole bunch of other cards. Maybe not the Jotun, maybe I'll hang on to that Jotun because it's still got a incredible daily DEC command. Or is that the Llama? It's the Llama. Oh, the Jotun and the Llama both have really good DEC per day. But I sort of think to myself, can I get other cards that might get me more DEC per day? It's sort of kind of first world problems that I'm experiencing. But that also reminds me that I should probably look at my main account and see what is lurking on there. That may be a single BCX that can go back across to my rental account. So there's a couple of legendary cards that I was thinking that I wanted to sell, but then I realized, hey, you're a dragon promo card and your gold foils, these two, the Assures. Why on earth would I do that to myself? And then I thought the same thing about the Dr. Blight. So yeah, I was very conflicted about them, but I do have a Mimosa and a Scale Doctor here that is already on the market. So we'll have a look at what the pricing is there and potentially lower it again to try and offload those two, because once they're gone, I can throw that into a couple of other cards that I have my eye on as well. So let's transfer these over to my other account. Hey, Walk the Grid, welcome. We'll go ahead and shift them across, and then we'll switch accounts again. Too many accounts. It's easy. The one with the icons are the only ones that I really care about. Then for rent, no. Throw these guys, except for Robo Dragon Knight, which is delegated to my main account because I actively use that card. And we will throw these on the market for rental at their lowest rate. So if you want a gold foil Assure or a gold foil 1 BCX Blight and you want to get them at the lowest price, go to the market now, go grab them. They are up and away, and that's all the stuff I wanted to do on Peak Monsters, I think. The other thing that I really need to start considering is, and I sort of alluded to this on a stream last week as well, starting to consider whether or not I have enough summoners, because I don't know if I'm going to for land purposes. So if I sort this by collection power, that'll tell me how many competently leveled summoners I've got available, which is about that many of them, which is how many? 9 summoners according to the Peak Monsters shopping trolley. Let me make this bigger again. I have an awful habit of making this small. So I think it's going to be much the same as picking a battle in game. You're going to need a summoner to look after the monsters that will be working on your land. At least that was alluded to in a previous AMA, probably more than a year ago now, where you're going to need a summoner to sort of babysit the monsters on your land. So that sort of immediately creates a market for at least 150,000 summoners. What does the market look like if we look at how many summoners are actively available on the market? So I've gone over to the buy tab now to continue with my rampant speculation. And I think it's going to be easier to do this in game because it'll just tell me how many are available. And not everyone's going to play their land at max level, I'm sure. Ooh, we've got to claim our anti-magic thing. Or rather, the next focus is loading. It's probably already been claimed by the bot that was rampaging on my account, but I don't know what it was, so let's go have a look. I get so distracted so easily. 51 plus blah, 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 blah. How to make a man speechless. 51 splinter shards. That's pretty good for a single chest. There's Bloodmaker, some merits, Nerd Hampier, Bandit, 6 splinter shards, 12 splinter shards, and an Ever Hungry Skull. That's not bad, considering I worked my day job all day and didn't have to do any of that. This means I need to go to the market before I get distracted again. And we want to look at summoners. I pressed the wrong button. We want to look at summoners on the market, and I want to do some calculating quick maths on how many summoners we get remaining from land. So General Sloan was to be diverted into max land plots. He would cover 664 of them. So that's barely barely a region, sorry. Meanwhile, in Kellytown, That's 643. So let's do a tally in the chat. 664, 643. You guys are my calculators there. Let's add these numbers because I'm lazy. Now we've got Vera. There's another 114 Veras available. I'm gonna get banned from the Twitch chat here for spamming too many things. Thaddeus, there's another 636. So chuck that on the pile. Quid, there's not a lot of him on the market. 1244 divided by... Oh, not even on the market. I'm talking about what's in circulation here. So 108 quid yuffs. We'll do this two ways. What's on the market versus what's in circulation. 11326 divided by 115. It's 98 Contessas that could be maxed. Pyre. There's a further 92 Pyres. 72712 obsidians. Jesus. That's a lot of obsidian. There's 632 more obsidians for the fire. Then we get to Talon, 7766. That's 168 Talons at max level. Delwyn is an interesting one because they're a common summoner that has 505 to max their BCX. Can you tell I've been playing this game a long time to know all of this stuff off the top of my head? 77 of them. Quadus. There's 152 of them. And then we've got Kelia, which there'll be many, many less of Kelia available as Jim continues to burn through all the Kelias that are in existence. He's such a upstanding, fine citizen for doing so. If only someone did that to Valnamore when Valnamore was cheap. Then we've got Kretch at 356. So as you can see, we're looking at 8 summoners so far. No, not 8. 3, 6, 7. We've looked at 14 summoners so far. And we're at, thanks to Rick on the Mountains tallying, 4,597 max level summoners. And there's 150,000 plots of land to be tended to. If we were to continue all the way down, we'd end up getting to very quickly look at our alpha summoners, our dice summoners, some of the legendary summoners, and this is all summoner cards that will potentially be taken out of circulation by land when land gets the go-go juice going on it. I really hope that's the case because it's going to create a shockwave, I think. Summoners are just going to be like, hello, I'd like to use a summoner. Would you like to use that summoner in battle, or would you like to use that summoner to generate stuff that can be used in other battles? I think it's going to be a very interesting time. But just for the sake of it, I want to go through the rest of the circulation of all these summoners because I like numbers and I like this sort of theory crafting stuff. We've got 90 Bortus to add. Then we've got Zintars, Beta Zintars, which are 115 to max at 76. Then we've got Ousters, 12303, if I can type, 12303, by 115, it's 106 Ousters out there in circulation, 8186 Maurix, so 71 of them. Now this is a test. That's a beta Tyrus, so it should be 115 to max. 8759 divided by 15. There's another 76. And we've got Lyanna, 8438. 15. 73. Rounding errors be damned with all of this. 1112 for Brighton Bloom. Oh, now we get to the fun stuff like Thiptha, which is just so much fun to say. There's currently 143 of them at max level poking about. For Skagor, there's 141 of them, so Skagors are actually lesser represented. Meanwhile, Drake's of Anoraks, 12931 by 46. There's 281 Anoraks. Now, I can't remember how many alpha cards it is to max a rare. 86. I've got to keep that number in my mind because we're getting down to the alpha cards. Summoners. And we're on by... We're up to... Are we looking at price ascending? Because things have moved. Oh god, things have moved on the thing because we've already counted. No, we counted the beta Zintar. Right, we're up to alpha. Okay, so calculator go. 3262 divided by 86. There's only 37 possible max level alpha Zintars in circulation based on raw card numbers. Now those card numbers could already be maxed ones, but for the purpose of this we're going to treat it like someone's going to come in and just buy cards because they need cards for land. There's 98 Mother Kalias, 6253 by 46 for the Bernhardt. It's 135 of them. And then we've got Kiara Lightbringer, that by 46, 41 of those. Geez, these are some small numbers for those older cards. Then we've got Ilthian. Wow, Ilthian's really picked up in terms of pricing. They're commanding quite a nice price. 137 of those. And we've got CSC Chan, of which there are not very many at all. 36. Then we've got Lorna. 24. Then Xander. It's another 37 of them. I like how the chat is just us spamming numbers, Rick. Everyone else is just watching on in awe. Was up to Daria. 5307 divided by 46. 115 Darias on your plate. Now I'm going to skip the gold foil because I don't know what that is off the top of my head. I just want to look at regular foils alone. Another 38 for Talia Firestorm. Then we go to Marik, 3269 by 86. Ninja. Combo Breaker. 38 Mariks. 3732 divided by 86. 43 there. Now we come to Tyrus. 3753 divided by 86. Another 43 there. Familiar number. 14723 by 115. 128 for our friend and enemy Mylor. Then we get to some of the other cards. There's another 43. Then Possibilis otherwise. Look at how many more of them there are. 826. Because it's only 11 that are needed. That's insane how much supply there is of Possibilis. Absolutely incredible. Who's next? It's Auric. Beta Auric. 7979. Huh. Symmetry. And that's by 115. So there's a very nice 69 Beta Aurics. Then we move on to Quicks. 11, 11, 6 divided by 11. 1010 Quicks the Devious. And we move on to Yasik with another 836. Similar numbers. 10730 for Wraithy Boy. That's 975. So if my point isn't already made, you can see that if every plot of land is going to need a summoner, and landowners are going to want max level summoners on their land, we're only getting to rarer and rarer and more expensive cards if we were to continue this exercise. And we're at probably, let me change this just to regular foils here. Let's look at where Grandmaster Wraith is and do the wonderful task of extrapolation. I'd say that scroll bar is about halfway through. So we've got one, I stopped at Nebseni. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 cards that we didn't look at, which are rarer than these. And we looked at 3, how many is on this row? 7. So we looked at 10, 17, 24, 31, 38, 45. So we looked at 45. We ignored 19 cards. Just going to get the old percentage amino thingy out. 19 divided by 45. So we ignored 42% of the thing. The final figures we came to were 10,941. Times that by 1.42. If we're going to say that the distribution is about equal, which it certainly is not, it would be far less than that. We'd be looking at, and if we round up my calculated figure there, we'd be looking at 16,000 or thereabouts cards, summoners with the current card supply in circulation, ready to go onto land. So that would be 10% or thereabouts of 150,000 land plots that could have a max level summoner sitting on them doing stuff. So I don't know why people are saying that there's too many cards. That might be true of other types of cards, like regular cards, as in monsters. But from a summoner perspective, if someone's going to be really serious and want to load up their land really heavy and really hardcore, even taking into account the fact that there's a whole bunch of Chaos Legion unsold that will burn or be sold. There's a whole bunch of Rift Watchers unsold at this point that needs to be opened and all that sort of thing. I mean, hell, even I'm guilty of holding a whole bunch of Chaos Legion packs here because I know that once all those airdrops are done, it's gonna be needed. Yeah, I know, right? Like Matt's got 2 regions and a whole bunch of land as loose plots sitting underneath him. And if he's going to need a summoner for each of those bits of land, he's going to suffer from a summoner shortage, I think. But who knows, he may just rent some of his land out. That's going to be his strategy and his tactics to make up. And thank goodness I brought my water bottle in here, because I can feel my voice starting to crack there as well. Yeah, I know, right? It's one guy. It's one guy. And don't forget Neil, who's also two castles too. Although I think he's changed his Discord name to something else at that point. But yeah, there's a lot of guys and a lot of people who are large aquatic creatures. I wouldn't go so far as to call them whales. That are going to need lots of cards, right? And how those cards are going to be sort of... Yeah, Neil is defo a whale. Yeah, he's... I don't know, he's more like one of those giant squids that are like 10 stories high. He may just be the Cthulhu of the Splinterlands Sea. And I've just noticed that I've got 3 of these Gladius packs sitting here unopened. So we're gonna not buy Gladius packs because I don't think I've got enough merits. I don't know why I clicked the plus. I thought the plus was going to allow me to open the Gladius packs at once. I was wrong. It's the next button. Let's open up all 3 of these Gladius packs and see what we get to add to the guild stuff. But then there's the other thing that leads me into opening all these guild cards, these Gladius cards, is that Gladius cards are going to be able to be used on land as well. There's no Gladius summoners at this point, but that will take some demand away from the regular card market, particularly if someone's aiming for a gold foil Gladius collection as opposed to a regular foil Gladius collection. Me, I'm just taking what I get. Ooh, we've got an epic there. That's the first card. A couple of rares. Do we get blessed with a legendary? No, we don't. All right, well, let's open that epic last. We'll go for the commons first. I'm hoping that we get a Captain Katie as one of the rares. That's an interesting looking Captain Katie. It's not a Captain Katie at all. What about this? That's also not a Captain Katie. That is also not a Captain Katie. That's also not a Captain Katie. You'd think with all the rares that I've got here, one of them would be a Captain. There she is. There she is. All right. What's this going to be? One of these has to be a number 2. Okay, we've already found the 2. So these are going to be single cards. We've got Ajax. And what's the epic going to be? Oh, look at that. It's a Quora. Easy as pie. I've gotten my fair share of Quoras. And I'm not afraid of it. Let's go see if I can level up that Quora at this point. No, I still need a couple more BCX to get her to level 3. What will she gain at level 3? She's going to get immunity? Dear God. She's already so powerful. That's going to be absolutely insane. No, I thought I had a gold Quora, but it's the Captain Katie that I've got as gold. Captain Katie might be ready to level up, actually. There's 8 cards there. Oh, one short. One short of Captain Katie. Does immunity stop dispel? I don't know. Let's find that out via a challenge. I just got logged out of the game. Do you want to flick me a challenge and we can conjure up a situation where we play immunity and something with the spell and we can find out. Go challenge. It's just on the mountain, yeah. And we'll throw gladiator cards in as well. I won't go to diamond level. We'll go to gold level. And we'll see what we can find. Hopefully the splinters will be open and it won't be a stupid back to basics rule set or anything like that. Okay. I think I can do... I'll bring immunity, you're going to bring dispel. So what am I going to bring that's got dispel? Let's just filter by dispel. I think Fire Splinter's got a good selection of dispels. There we go, there's 3 dispels. And then I'll throw in some immunity creature as well. But in order for the dispel to actually work, we need something in the team that's going to bestow a positive. So I'm going to throw Tower Griffin in. That way they'll get armor. And then we'll see whether or not the dispel goes away. Rather, the armor goes away with the use of dispel on Forgotten One. We'll see how that works. We're gonna be learning. That's my best Ralph Wiggum voice. I think my voice is too deep to do Ralph Wiggum. Also, my voice is shot from talking for like an hour straight without taking any water in. So let's fix that up. Alright, so you can see what I've put in, Rick. Let's see what you put in. There's no glory or guts here, it's just pure experimentation. And I'm wondering if Dispel gets rid of Bloodlust as well, come to think of it. We don't call them fires, we call them the uh-ohs. Alright, let's see if the Dispel from Spellsmith drops the... It did. It did drop the Protect. So immunity gets rid of... No, sorry, let me use my English words and language skills appropriately instead of stuttering and blubbering like an incompetently bearded man. So immunity does not protect you from Dispel. Because the Protect was removed, the Swiftness was removed, and yeah, we managed to discover that through the wonderfying, yes. Wow. Words. I need a speech pathologist at this rate. That or I'm having a stroke and just not aware of that fact. Where was I? We've done research. We should be published in like Splinterlandian journals or things. That's the sort of fun about this game, is that, you know, you can do actual theory crafting, especially now that the practice thing is now that would undoubtedly win Clip of the Week. My tragedy would be if that didn't win Clip of the Week, I'd come out of my coma or my gravestone and be like, why have you forsaken me, dear viewers? I'd be the most intelligent person to have ever suffered a stroke after the stroke. I'm not making much sense, am I? I go off on tangents like this so easily, and I've got all of you guys to blame. But I guess that's why I'm here. Keeps me off the streets. You know, I'm gonna go to Ripcam here and tell you all about my dream. It's a very modest dream. It's a dream that I may have spoken about on my personal streams in the past, But my dream is one day when I'm an old man to be standing on a street corner in a city somewhere in the world, don't care where, standing on top of a literal soapbox, rambling random things that passes by, pretending that I'm senile, possessed by demons or gods or whatever, and just have people walk by me and they'll wonder, what sort of life did this guy have to lead to this moment? And at the end of the day, I'd pack up my little wooden soapbox, take it with me, jump in a Porsche or some sort of like fancy sports car and drive home and just be like, that was a great day. I confused at least 15 people today. That was a wonderful day. That's my dream. That's my retirement dream. It's a modest dream, I think. It's achievable. It's not going to be and I'm sure you guys can see that sort of, futuristic glaze in my eyes that, it's achievable. It's achievable. And, maybe I can put a hat down by the side of my soapbox and perhaps have people throw coins into it and pretend that I'm some sort of performance artist or a busker. But perhaps that will be my way of launching a stand-up comedy career. Maybe one day. Until then, I've got you guys and my 4 hours a week here on Splinterlands TV. But I get tons of you guys saying that I'm pretty funny. So keep giving me that confidence. Maybe one day I'll go to an open mic night or something and just ramble excessively, because it's what I do. And sometimes that rambling is interesting. Now that's completely unrelated to Splinterlands, that rambling and that dream, but it's something I'm working towards. Most people are like, yeah, one day I'll retire and go on a cruise ship and do this and do that or whatever, or go to Europe and cruise around for a bit. But you know what? You can get a busking license. And I don't know if you've walked down the main strip of any sort of metropolitan city, but I'm pretty sure there's other people that would be more cause for concern for passing police and whatever. And for those who would stop to have a chat and be like, dude, are you okay? I'd be like, yeah, I've wanted to do this my whole life. This is what I worked for so many years. I've worked towards this moment. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I've got a busking license, and then you just pull out a scrap of paper that's got a Splinterlands validator node license key written on it, and you show that to the busking police, and they're like, excuse me, sir, what is this? There we go. There's a Splinterlands comedy club. Get pulled over. Do you know how fast you were going there, boy? Yeah, here's my license. Instead of handing them a driver's license, you hand them your Splinterlands node license. Oh, whoops, sorry, wrong license. My brain is just not wired correctly, I don't think. But it's wired that way for your entertainment, your amusement. Well, look, I look homeless. That's the whole point, right? And I'm certainly not a Splinterlands millionaire. I'm nowhere near it. Not even close. Maybe one day, but today is not that day. I was going to say something else. Like that's the whole idea. I want to look homeless. Like, you hear those stories about people that have tons of money that walk into car dealerships and they're just dressed in rags, basically. And they're like a whale pretending to be a sardine. Is that because they may be salty? Or is that sardines or anchovies? They're both pretty salty, I think. Man, we need a new class in Splinterlands. Like, we talk about whales and dolphins and all that sort of thing, and you know, it's a financial term. We need more sardines. We need like salty, salty sardines and salty, salty other things. The other thing I wanted to talk about was a couple of weeks back on my stream, I was talking about how we could have other ancillary games to the side of Splinterlands. And I've actually been seriously pondering up a potential mini game that I have the coding skills to execute, because it's pretty basic in terms of what it would involve. So what I'm envisioning is a system, and feel free to give me your savage, considered critique and feedback on this idea. It's a system where everyone goes to a post on the Hive blockchain, they post their Splinterlands username as a comment or whatever. Then once a week, I take those usernames that have been commenting on that particular post. I basically assign them a random neighbor. So Rick goes in, I go in, Mango goes in, and then we look up, do any of these people have land? Great, they have X number of land. On that account on which they have that land, do they have any monsters? Great, they have monsters. Then you add up all the health that their monsters have, or the attack that their monsters have, or the magic, armor, etc. that their monsters have. Just going to bring up a card here to refresh my memory on what my idea was. So the aggregate of, i.e. the total, I recognize that not everyone's a data analyst, of their owned cards, so their cards which are not delegated to others or rented from others, is then added up. You get a total. So let's say my total is 48 health, 30 armor, 16 attack. Just making up numbers. And I have 2 land plots. I'd take that aggregate, divide it by the number of land plots I have, and then my land plot has a defense score. That defense score would be like 0 point whatever. Again, this is a game idea, that's my own. And then you compare that land score versus the land score of your alleged neighbor. If you're getting at me, the term neighbor here is more like they're your rival country next door. Then based on that score for that week, you compare, say, 0.3 versus 0.7, and you exert influence over the adjacent land or the adjacent character. Kind of like if you guys have ever played Civilization, where you would take over neighboring plots of land through religious influence or cultural influence or just general sort of influence. Except what happens is you run a total each week of basically going, this is how much influence someone has gained, this is how much they've been intimidated by their neighboring things, and every week you shuffle it. So you basically have a new neighbor of land. Like, there's nothing in there in terms of like actual player stuff. It's more like a random number generator piled on top of things that you already hold. That could be a text-based game to be like, okay, cool, my neighbor this week is Neil, oh god, I'm gonna lose. Or my neighbor this week is this person I've never heard of in the Splinterlands community, and wow, my cards held up really well against that. And I think it would be a cool little fun minigame. What are your guys' thoughts? If it's terrible, tell me. That's what you're here for. This is my like alpha test. And I just recited all of that from memory, and it probably has many more steps involved to become something usable. It would be very complicated to implement, I think, but essentially it would be. Sorry, that would have made a terrible sound through the mic. Me sliding my drink bottle across the table. I don't think it would be horrendously bad. I think it would be. I think it'd be fun. And then eventually, you could potentially tokenize that influence and that intimidation, and I don't know, have it tradable for something. I don't know. I'm not an economist, so I don't know how that works. But I think as a something else you can do with your Splinterlands things, as a game adjacent to a game, it could be an interesting thing. And hey, thank you, good God Mushi, for the raid there. Welcome to our new viewers. Good to have you guys here there. And happy to have you. There's going to be so many words in the chat. Welcome everyone. My name is Holazor. If you've not seen me here on Splinterlands TV before, welcome. I am rambling about things and stuff. Haven't been doing that much playing. Haven't been doing any playing at all because my ECR is at 50%. But I have been speculating madly about what land might come to bring. But we also learned that immunity does not protect you from dispel. Immunity does not protect you from maintaining swiftness in the sight of many other things and stuff. So I'm pretty keen to do some challenges if you guys want to send some challenges through. There are no prizes other than hearing me be absolutely flabbergasted by your decisions and choices, and equally the audience being flabbergasted by my poor use of intellect and strategy. But that's what makes this stuff fun. Let's do some challenges, let's do some battles, and let's have fun, because it's awful quiet in here. Yes, and my unequivocal, wow, now we go back to me not being able to speak properly, unequivocal trash talk about Uriel. And don't forget, Coriel Lurker is trash too. I say the controversial things so you guys don't have to, and so you can boo me off the stage. If only that was a thing you could do on Twitch. I mean, you could close the window, but I'd suggest you don't. Yeah, exactly. Controversy brings the audience, JB Saints. That's exactly what I'm going for. Controversy to make the chat way more active. And, you can only deliver it if you've got the confidence and chagrin, I guess. I don't even know what that word means. I think it's just another word for hubris. My hubris always comes back to bite me. When it comes to this card is trash, then someone plays that card against me, and then I lose to that very card. That is the definition of hubris. Say the words and you shall be healed. You're gonna make me channel my inner preacher, which I don't have. Mango Mayhem. Man, I should really overlay the chat onto this, because everyone who's watching this on YouTube later when I upload the replay is going to be like, what is he talking about? This man is so good at rambling to himself. Something that I should probably do. It's how I feel about Billy. Who's Billy? Which card is Billy? I've got to look up trample cards that could potentially be named Billy now. Bill of the Radiant? But Bill of the Radiant doesn't do trample. Why is Possibilis called Billy? Did I miss something? I haven't looked at the lore. Where is my Possibilis? What I really want to see is Possibility. Oh wow, I'm so slow today. It's like I'm fighting up against Quicks. That's how slow I am today. I want to see Possibility. I like that name. I want to see Billy with Lobstradamus, because then you've got these two nebulous sort of proposals of it could happen, but it could also happen because it's a prophecy. Look at those little glasses and that little wizard hat. Isn't Lobstradamus adorable? But I want to see if they went absolutely to town with the artwork for Possibilis. Oh, they did. They've got the full body illustration. That's awesome. That's awesome. I really like that. If it wasn't so much of a chore to press like 4 buttons in Photoshop to remove that background, that would definitely be something that I would consider adding to my stream overlay, which is getting old. Like, I've had this stream border and overlay for such a long period of time now. Posse 420? No, it's not Posse 420. It's Posse 9096, because that's how many are in circulation. Is there something you need to tell us here, Rick? All of these for rent Possibilis Monster Mountain. Is this your alter ego? Have you collected so many Possibilis that you've got whatever? Well, let me think about Photoshop for a minute. You'd open it, then you could either do the there's actually 2 ways you could do it. You could use the magic wand, which is the bad way of doing it, or you could go open the image, then go select subject, then a pop-up window would appear, and then you'd have to press OK. Then you'd have to invert the selection and press delete. I don't know how many steps that was. I think that's like 9 steps. It'd probably take 14 seconds. It took me longer to think about it than what it would probably take. But then finding my overlay file, link to my OBS, it's just so much effort. So much effort. Yeah, you could do an alpha mask as well. I've got a photography background, so all of my Photoshop stuff comes from photographic sort of workflows as opposed to graphic design workflows with like alpha masks and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, and there's always like 14 different ways to do a single task in Photoshop. It was so much fun at uni seeing the ways everyone would approach the same problem. Some people would do it with clipping layers and all that sort of stuff, whereas other people would be like, no, photographic, Dave. Photographic. Photographic. Not that word. Yes. Although, if you want to believe that this image of Possibilis is of that nature, feel free. He is quite extraordinary in battle. Oh, Corel Draw. Does anyone in the chat remember Kid Pics? I'm probably showing my age here now, but that was one of the first applications I ever used on a computer, Kid Pics. It was a bitmappy, stampy sort of kids drawing program. And that was my first exposure to like animation on the computer back in my childhood. I thought it was great. Walk the grid. You've just made me think with that Corel Draw that we should really do a hilarious Photoshop of Corel Lurker as Corel Draw. Because that would be hilarious. What could we do? We could give him some could put like paintbrushes in each of his little tendrils. Yeah. Just Photoshop in some paintbrushes. That's really all you need to do. Have like a little tiny easel with a canvas in front of them. Again, if I wasn't so lazy, I'd do it. But I'm a lazy, lazy man. I'm an incredibly lazy man. You still want to do one with Rick Grimes' son? I don't get the reference. I've just restored my browser to normal size with my card collection. Walking Dead. Yeah, I haven't seen any of the Walking Dead. I am not familiar with it at all. I don't watch much, if any, TV at all. Now I've got to go through all these cards and like make a complete stand-up routine to... His name is Carl. Are you referring now to llamas with hats? That old animation? Carl. Oh, you need to watch the llamas with hats YouTube clip. Llamas with hats is fantastic. My favorite episode is when they're on the cruise ship. Yeah. I got you a surprise. I won't say that on stream here, but you know the exact moment that I'm talking to. Walking Dead Carl is better. Yeah, I don't have the attention span for TV and all that sort of thing anymore. I just don't. I prefer to create stuff than to consume stuff, because there's just this inner monologue inside of me. It's like to tell the world everything. It's also why I can't keep any secrets. So is there going to be any other challenges come through, or was Rick the only one brave enough to challenge me for a little testing session there? Or are we're just gonna have me ramble for the next half an hour? Because I've got like a liter of water inside this bottle and I do need to drink it before I go to bed tonight. Okay, let's go, Dave. No need to use your channel points because I won't be throwing a prize at you. And it will be me just putting absolutely absurd teams together. It will be my slapstick comedy. Meowsy, would that Splinter Cards card that you happen to have be a Biz Kitty? Because with a name like Meow, I would expect you to have some sort of cat-related card. Uh-oh. Been given a YouTube link. This could be dangerous. I'm gonna open this on my other monitor. I also don't want our stream here to get copyright struck, so I will watch that after my stream. Rick, send the challenges to my main account, JB Saints. Feel free on whatever league you like. I'll send you the challenge, Dave. So Dave the Great, we know what your in-game name is. Let's go silver, because Max isn't here today. At least Max Macca hasn't appeared to say when silver. So when silver is now. Now is when silver. It's always silver. And hey, Boomburst, welcome. I have that turtle emote too. It's one of my favorite Twitch emotes. I got this puppy as well from a hype train ages back. And these emotes from my own channel still work, even though I haven't streamed to my own channel in probably forever. It's been a very long time since I've streamed to my personal channel. Close range and aim true, so everything's always going to hit. Immediately I thought I was going to be playing Fernheart here. but there's no need to be playing Phone Heart here. So let's go ahead and give you a vision of my animated gravestone while I consider what team I'm going to put together. And I think I know what team I'm going to put together. It's going to be absolutely absurd. I don't know if it will function very well, but when have I been known to function well? Very, very rarely. All right, cool. We got another challenge coming through as well. So I will put my team together here and we will see what we get. Yeah, Pellicle Mercenary is a great card. They are pretty fantastic. All right, I've got this done. When growing a beard, hang on, let's move that microphone out of the way. There we go. There's a beard. I need something for scale. I don't have a banana in the room, so geez, what can I use? Actually, here we go. Here's a AA battery. A AA battery next to my beard. You all know what a AA battery looks like. It's a long beard. Let's put that down. Let's bring the microphone back. And the teams are in. So thank you, Jay, for reminding me to actually show us the battle. Now that we are indeed back. So we've got a Captain Katie here. And meanwhile, I've got a Gladiator chilling out too. I think I might be able to destroy you here, Dave. Catarabella is going crazy. She's gone properly crazy. Well, it was the only thing that I had on hand that was of like an international standard. Otherwise, the only other thing that's on my desk here that's sort of an international standard is a pen, which I've been fiddling with. A Samsung Galaxy Note 10, which needs its screen cleaned, or perhaps an Xbox controller. This is now a stream officially about the various things on my desk. Another different type of pen. Let's go ahead and grab this challenge before I just grab everything on my desk and hold it up to the camera like I'm some preschooler doing a show and tell. We are doing is it a Diamond League challenge? No, Gold League challenge by the looks of things. Let's see what we're gonna do here. So we got Trample and no legendaries. I was going to be like, it's a good time to use Possibilis, but no, that won't be happening. Let's blacken out that screen once more and consider what card we're gonna play. So we got blue, life, death, fire, stampede. I do want to try and stampede. I very much do. Okay, this is what I'm going to do then. Yeah, double bloodlust in turns is just absolutely crazy. Stampede Billy. Stampede's already part of the rule set, so there's no point. Oh, we can't use gladiators in this one though. That's a shame. Back in my day, we didn't even have gladiators. What else am I going to throw into this team? Maybe some of this. Maybe some... Oh, I can't. There's no creatures that have that. Okay then. What about some of this? Yeah, no. Maybe that one. I'm fast running out of time here. Back in my day, Methuselah was freshly conceived. Such is life. I'm not really an old man. I'm only 35. I'm getting old though. But I will forever be young in my brain. Okay, this is what I'm going to submit as my team. Okay. Well, we do have a Possibilis coming at us, which is going to be problematic. This is going to be the first time I'm going to be seeing Possibilis possibly killing me. Now, I've got hopefully the double trouble trample. I even brought a rust along to try and increase my chances. But in order to trample, I first must kill. Oh no. Oh, usually when Deep Liquor goes nuts, I expect it to go completely nuts. But I think the variety of my team did a little bit. But I like that we both tried to go with the rule set. Yeah, I think Arachne Thug is a beautiful card, Rick. I agree. And Kabbalist as well is criminally underrated. At least I believe that's the case. Let's see if the market agrees with me. No, he's not criminally underrated. He's commanding the highest price of the death rares by a decent margin. But I look at Chaos Legion Death. Let's get rid of the gold foils. I said let's get rid of the gold foils. And I don't know about you, but I don't see a single bad card here. Other than maybe Nightghoul. Maybe I just don't know how to use Nightghoul. Or Gal, depending on where you're from in the world. Yeah, I don't see a single bad card here. Yeah, I just haven't used them. Or at least I haven't found a scenario where I'd use them over Windaku or Harklaw or Dark Hawan or those other things. I guess you could see him as a substitution for Dark Hawan when Dark Hawan goes off to the wonderful land of Wild League when the next edition comes out. But yeah, Kabbalist is a fantastic card. And the fact that they get that demoralized at level 6, not all the way at the end of their stream, plus Giant Killer, so good. Such a good ability, Giant Killer. You couple that with a knockout rule set, and you throw in a stun, you're doing so much damage. Ridiculous amounts of damage. Now we look at Dragon. And again, I see no trash here. I look at neutral, and I do see trash. It's the Lurker and the Runecrafter. I'm sort of redoing my tier list, but much more brutally right now. And then in Life Splinter, I see Runemancer Artois as trash. And everything else is remarkably useful. In Green Splinter, I don't think I see much trash here at all. Maybe Lycan Beast could be better, but 5 mana, 10 health is a lot. Again, Artois, I pretend that he's French, so he's going to be constantly apologizing for how bad he is. I'm sorry to any French viewers who may be watching. I then look at Blue Splinter and I think to myself, there's no one like really bad here. Probably Lemel Refugees, the worst of these cards, but with Possibilis, they're good. Yes, but they do speak French in Canada. that was the casual link in my brain. Now, if we have a look at Fire Splinter, yeah, I don't think there's a bad card here either. So I think the Riftwatchers card collection was pretty good. I won't talk about my experience visiting France. All I'm going to say is I got lost in the French subway system, and I did not speak a single word of French. And, well, spoiler alert, I made it out alive because here I am. But it was a struggle. It was an enormous struggle. Yeah, Riftwatchers are so many amazing cards. And I opened all of my Riftwatchers cards from packs. I'd still had to buy some on the market to max out my cards. But yeah, I went and bought a whole bunch of Riftwatchers packs out of the gates. So I'm going to need to top up in order to get these ones maxed, because I'm certainly not going to be getting all of those airdropped to me. But my one chief complaint about the airdrop system here is this many packs. If I was to hold all of these packs, then open them at the end of the edition, I'd have enough probability or possibility, if channel Possibilis the Wise, to get each and every one of these airdrops in that number of packs. But yeah, that's exactly what I'll be doing. I'm not going to be buying more Riftwatchers packs to chase these airdrops. I will just buy the Delta on the secondary market. But I don't regret it. It was fun opening all those packs on stream. And hey, just DNFT, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to a stream of me rambling incessantly. And yeah, the airdrops are what they are. Like, I understand why they are that way. And when we were looking at the summon account for lands based on total card circulation, I understand why those numbers are done in the way that they are, because I was noticing that the distribution of the airdropped cards was very similar to the ones that were just included in packs. So if you look at something like Quicks versus Yasik or Wraith, they're fairly close in terms of total circulation. It's clear that some of them have been combined more than others, and that's probably an indication as to their usefulness. Possibilis and Yasik have not really had the time to be revealed in massive pack openings at this stage, but their numbers will probably catch up to the others, because now that these are in packs, there's going to be less of a chance overall if you're getting a legendary summoner that is going to be Quicks. So you'll see less Quicks dropped proportionately, and more Possibilis and Yasiks and Wraiths drop out of packs. Of course, they also then have to compete with just the general legendary population in Chaos Legion inside of that pack to bring up their circulation numbers. So yeah, RNGs are fun. The only legendary you'll ever open is a Fiend. The only gold foil legendary I've ever opened for Chaos Legion was a Fiend as well. I think I have... No, it wasn't a Fiend. It was Neutral Boy. Spirit Hoarder. I managed to get a gold foil Spirit Hoarder in my Chaos Legion pack openings, but I don't think I got much of anything else. Hang on, let's go look. Legendary, gold foil, turn off summoners. I should go to the my cards instead of looking at the market there though. Grid, gold, legendary, not monsters. Let's do Chaos Legion. So Lyra was an airdrop, Izor was an airdrop, Grum was an airdrop, Spirit Hoarder was not an airdrop. And I opened probably 2,000 or so Chaos Legion packs. I got a lot luckier when it came to Riftwatchers packs, because I got a Longtail, a Flore, 2 Runemancer Kais, and a Mortius out of my stuff. Yeah, if I go back to my collection and I look at my genuine gold foils that I've got, I'm pretty proud of the cards I selected for my gold foils. Let's look at my alpha gold foils, of which there are 0. Then we shall explore my expansive beta collection of gold foils, of which there is also 0. Then we'll look at my promos, of which there are also 0. Now reward cards, I've got a few gold foils here. Bloodmaker, Murdhampier, Vampire Bat, which I barely ever use, and Jinra Nova, which I use regularly. Then if we turn all of that off and we look at Untamed, we've got the Serpentine Spy and the Shield Bearer. I have no gold foil dice. Chaos Legion, I've picked up a few. So there's my favorite, the Desert Dragon, and then Golden Psychic and Stitch Legion Chaos Knight, which I use pretty often. Cruel Cethropod gets a bit of use. Scavo Chemist probably should get more use because they're a really good card. And Venari Knife for Hill Giant, I don't really get used. And then for Riftwatchers, I'm a poor man and have no maxed out Riftwatchers. But when I finally get over my Urea spying addiction, I should probably go and finish the job maxing out. Where are you? Where are you? I need 4 more Fern Hearts to max out a gold foil Fern Heart, which would be incidentally the only summoner I've ever had a max gold foil in. Yeah, it is a true statement that you make. I think I'm waiting for those cards I was talking about earlier to unlock and sell, to swap essentially a couple of cards for many cards, because I don't want to spend more DEC, because I'm weary of the fact that guild upgrades, the guild I'm in, we're pretty high up in terms of our building statuses, but we're going to need, well, you don't contribute DEC to your lodge. The arena, I've already thrown in my next update, because that's the next thing our guild's going to be updating, is the arena, and we divide our upgrade totals for guild buildings by 30, and we put in our share. At least that's how it's meant to work. And it's something like an additional 500,000 DEC to finish maxing my share of all the buildings in the guild that I'm a part of. So there's quite a bit of stuff to happen there. Hey Bobo Man, welcome. Didn't see a message there. So yeah, I'm weary of spending DEC. I am morally and fundamentally opposed to burning SPS for DEC. I feel like that's the stupidest thing I could ever do, particularly with all the other ways that SPS is going to interact with things. There's also the little issue of having a bunch of land and not knowing what DEC is going to be required in order to build buildings on land and upgrade buildings on land and all that sort of thing. Yes, like you say, Rick, when player staking, when validator rewards for actually running the software, when so many other things. But hey, at least it looks like we're going to be able to do our claiming of plots and tracks, and if you're psychotic enough, regions soon. So for those of you who were not here earlier, and I'm sure J-Ron, who will be coming up on the stream next, is going to be talking about, apart from their adorable baby puppies that have recently come into his life, is they're going to be like 3 times bigger than what they were last week, I'm sure. And I mean literal puppies, dogs that bark. Have they opened their eyes yet? I don't know anything about canines, so I have to ask these silly questions. But anyway, you look at this, and then on the right hand side of the screen, you've got the next available region will be Quigmore, and the next available tract is Saragar. So if I go to claim another deed here, we'll claim another plot, because we're plotting on what's going to happen next. This is of course on the test server for Mavericks. So that is now claimed. You click over here on the right hand side and you get all of your unsurveyed land plots for you to ooh and ah about silently. You get to see the region, the region number, the track number, the plot number, in that order. And then one day we will be able to survey this land and find out whether it is covered with tigers and other mythical beasts that we must slay, or whether it's, you know, a mystical river that gives us mystical stuff. That's everything that's on the test server, Bobo Man. So yeah, there's not a lot else here, but you can definitely see that the framework they built for the other assets market is in use, very much so, in there, because we've got that similar interface. We're jumping to a different subdomain to that next preface there, and you know, it's all there. It's all there. And the other great thing about this test server is the fact that I have 10,000 of every pack. Let's open some imaginary alpha packs. 200 imaginary alpha packs on a test server. I'm going to click reveal all, and we're going to sit back in wonder at whatever we obtain. All right. Oh, look at this. Look at all that gold. Oh, here comes the first legendary. It's a lightning dragon. And another. It's a gold dragon. Man, this takes me way back. This takes me so far back. Oh, gold chromatic dragon there. But again, these are all imaginary packs. I remember doing this for real back in the day. except not clicking reveal all, because we didn't have a reveal all button back in the day. We had to open our packs by going uphill both ways. But yeah, well, that's a nice little row of cards there. Even a gold foil fleshy. Gold Zinta. Well, if it's the first time you've seen an alpha pack opened, it's not going to be your last time. Because this test server, I got a lot of alpha packs on this test server. So let's go. Let's open more. Got millions of potions as well, so I won't be running out anytime soon. Not going to do a reveal all this time. I'm just going to click. Wow, that's a lot of gold. Here's a legendary. Oh, I used to be a Angel of Light collector. At one point I had probably 10% of the Alpha Angel of Light supply, and I was fiercely proud of that fact. But you will note that I no longer have 10% of the Alpha Angel of Light supply. Meanwhile, here's another legendary. 3 gold dragons. 200 packs at once just feels thing, but like on my YouTube channel, I've got a playlist called Classic Splinterlands, where if you dig deep enough, you will find the replays of me originally opening all of my packs. I'm just going to see if I can try and find one of them. Bear with me here. I could have sworn that I had a opening lots of Steam Monster card packs. Yeah, here we go. So here is ancient history. Really old me. What was this? 4 years ago, uploaded to YouTube. And this is what things looked like back then. So I believe these were beta packs I was opening at the time. Look at me, I'm like live reacting to my own old stream. I missed that open another button. It was so good. And my beard was almost just as long back then. But man, I've put on weight since then. So let's see, do I get around to alphas here? No, I'm still opening beta packs. Oh no, here we go. Here's some alpha packs. Original alpha packs from back in the day. Yeah, still the same microphone in that picture. Still the same room that I'm sitting in right now. Just that bookshelf is no longer in the background. So yeah, oh, we even had Cryptomancer watching the stream as we went through. But yeah, there was so much time. The packs were drops. This was from the Kickstarter campaign that I got those packs from. But yeah, there was lots and lots and lots of packs that I opened back in the original times, the ancient times. And I don't think I got any gold foil legendaries out of any of this. If I did, you know, feel free to go and find it in the original replay. But I remember there was a whole series of streams where I opened literally hundreds of packs back in the ancient times of Splinterlands, when it wasn't even known as Splinterlands, when it was known as Steam Monsters. But my time with you all is coming to a close. 30 seconds left. It's been an absolute pleasure to ramble in front of you all. I hope you've been entertained. Prepare to be further entertained by the lovely Jayron, who is another fellow Australian. They're all the way up in the Gold Coast. So you're going from Adelaide, South Australia, all the way to the Gold Coast in Queensland. And I will catch you guys again very soon. Until then, have a wonderful existence and get ready for land. Cheers.